Do what you want to do, feel what you want to feel, yeah.
Welcome to our new podcast. The most exciting thing is that we just came up with the name 2 seconds ago, and we're going to let you know what that name is. But first, I think we should introduce ourselves. My name is Deanne Love.
And I am Grace Hogan.
And Grace, how do we know each other?
Well, you came and got a haircut. Actually, yeah, from where I work at. And you landed in my scissor cutting hands one day.
That is
Which is
true.
pretty awesome.
And I have the raddest haircut, which leads me to introduce the name of our new podcast. Do you want to say it?
Yeah. Are you ready for it? Yeah. We are 2 rad chicks.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably already tell that we are 2 rad chicks, but we're not just like 2 as in the number 2 rad. It's like 2 rad, like 2
Like
rad for
2 rad for life.
2 rad for sad, 2 rad for
Mad.
2 rad for just pretty much
Bad.
everything. And we should probably say though, so how, okay, all right. So cut to a visual of me sitting in the salon and Grace comes up and she says,
Hey, I'm cutting your hair today. Nice to meet you.
and I say, okay, cool, make it really rad, whatever, whatever. And then cut to like 20 haircuts later,
Yeah.
probably, which was about 2 weeks ago. And I'm sitting down and I say to Grace, can you please like cut off all of my hair? Like I'm sick of it. I hate it. Like I don't want to do it. And she looks at me like, I don't even remember what you said.
You had sent me inspiration too through the week, and I was ready to go there. But we didn't go there.
We did not.
I almost don't even know. Why didn't we go there?
We'll go
I don't
there.
even know. we went semi there.
Yeah, I mean, it's super rad. It's amazing. It's like the coolest haircut ever. I think she just doesn't listen to me. She just doesn't want to go there. It's all right. Anyway, so we're there and I am begging her to cut my hair off and she's kind of like sidestepping me. And then we get to talking. Like that's kind of my favorite part. Like I feel like I come and get my hair cut with you about every 3 days.
I just have to give you guys a visual as well. Like when Deanne rocked up, she usually people come with maybe inspiration photos of what kind of haircut they want. Deanne came to me with a photo of what she feels like already, and it was an image of Lisa Simpson with all of her hair like almost slicked over to one side. I feel like we'll get that
yellow.
image. I reckon
We
somewhere.
have to get that image.
Because I couldn't. I just peed myself laughing.
In the middle of the salon, Grace dropped dead to the floor, like shaking and laughing. Like I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But she was just laughing at the image of Lisa Simpson.
And you were like not even reactive to that. You were just kind of like, this is how I feel. And
This
I
is
don't want to
exactly
be
how I
like,
feel.
and you were like, I don't want to be this anymore.
So I was like, cut my hair off. Anyway, she didn't cut my hair off, but I don't
didn't.
feel like Lisa Simpson anymore. And then we got to talking about how, you know, how cool it is to hang out with each other and how we always have a million things to do, but how life, I mean, it could always be better, right? Like we could always do cooler stuff. And then we were like, maybe you said to me, how's your podcast going or something? And I was like, yeah, it's amazing. It's good. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
And then we said,
What really happens when you do cool shit?
oh, maybe that's what it was. We were kind of like, oh, imagine doing this or imagine doing that, or like kind of some of the things that we're a little bit scared to do. And then so we kind of don't do them, but we need a bit of hand holding. And
Yeah.
you're always like I'll say something, some crazy story or some weird shit that I've done or that I want to do. And Grace will always be like, yeah, I'm in, just like, and you'll get to know, so this is the whole idea of this podcast. You'll get to know that we are about to embark on some really potentially crazy adventures and we want to take you with us.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the what really happens.
Yeah. Segment.
And so in the space of a haircut, which normally
Yeah.
takes like how long? How long does it take for you to cut my hair?
We allow an hour to cut a haircut, but I feel like we did your color first and then we did your haircut first and then we did your color. So we spent some time together that day.
I feel like
Maybe
every
2 hours.
time I come into the salon, it's like 5 to 10 hours. But anyway,
Yeah.
in the space of 5 to 10 hours or 2 hours or whatever it is, we
got really excited about this concept, and I had lunch actually after I did your hair, and I was in the back room eating lunch, and I was like, "Is this really happening? Like, this is such a cool idea." And I guess it kind of gives. I like to do things with purpose, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
And so it makes it easier for me to jump into these scenarios or situations when there's a podcast to talk about it, because I probably wouldn't have gone through with doing some of the things maybe that we've talked about or are going to do if I didn't have the purpose to share it.
So it's all about purpose. It's all about being a little bit curious about certain things in life, but maybe needing like another rad chick to do it with. It's all about going on adventures that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. I guess like for me, my big thing is, to have purpose, but then to share that so I inspire other people.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of been my life path as a hoop dancer and as a teacher, to be like, okay, I'm doing all this really cool shit and now I want to share it with you so that I can spark some courage. So that's what I really feel like this podcast is all about. Like us, we could just go on these adventures together. You know, we could just jump in the car and go. But we're like, why don't we go on these bigger adventures, which you'll get to find out about, and then we'll share it. We'll come back and report each week.
I feel like it's nice too, because you're kind of recapping on what you've done and reflecting back on that. So it's kind of like a physical act out of maybe what you might do already in your life, but mentally. So it's kind of nice to vocalize it and
it's cool.
And share your feelings on like how things might have made you feel through the process of something outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, like even we don't know what's going to happen. Like we've both done some really rad stuff in our lives, and you'll get to know us a little bit more, and I'll have the courage to divulge some of my stuff, and Grace, I'll like pry it out of her. But we don't know what's going to happen. Like some of the things that we've chosen, like we were going to call this I Dare Ya. Like, and make them big, crazy dares, like jump out of planes and all of that kind of stuff. But we actually don't know. Some of the things that we have on our list, I'm kind of are you nervous?
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
This should have been called Scared AF.
Yeah.
Yes. But then I didn't want it to be like, I thought if we did it that way, it would be like, what are those crazy reality TV shows? Like
it could become extremism.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, like I don't want to push each other because I don't want this to end, in emotional disaster. So we've pulled back from the original wildness. You know how you like go?
Yeah. You're gonna go
like,
big.
All right, reality, and then like somewhere in the middle. So we came up with lots of different ideas, and we were going to call it "What Really Happens." Like, what really happens when you blah 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 go on this, and we'll come back and report. And that's pretty much what we're going to do every week. Maybe we should. Do you want to talk about like what we're going to – this is like the intro podcast, so stay tuned for all the amazingness. Yes. All of the hilarity. But this week we're kind of going to introduce ourselves and but in case you are wondering what we're going to do each week.
Yeah, so we will – are we going to ask questions every week? No.
Nah.
No.
Do you think? Let's just do it this week.
Yeah.
Because if we ask questions every week, we're kind of like, they're like,
I've
had enough of knowing about you. I want to know about the adventure.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll go through, we will have a weekly confession each of something that might have happened in our week.
That could get deep.
Very
deep. Or weird. Could just be weird.
Or it could be so basic.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Like, don't be thinking that my life is some kind of amazing wild ride every week. Like, it might be something about my washing the dishes or something. Yeah.
And then we will report back on what we have done for the activity or experience, I guess. So we'll report back on that and how it went and how we felt. Then we will introduce the next adventure.
Yes. Choose a new adventure
So
for the next week.
yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah. Cool.
so you'll we'll report on that, and then is that
Yeah. Yeah,
then-
that's
and
what
then-
we're doing. See, we are living on the edge. We're
Living on
like
the edge.
spontaneous two rad chicks. Yeah, and then
so
we
next
report back.
adventure, and then we will be sharing our weekly obsessions, which is our 2 favorite songs. So we'll
Yeah.
each share 2 of our favorite songs from that week.
I think that I'm not going to pick favorites, but
Yeah, okay.
sharing songs, because Grace and I are constantly sending songs, Spotify songs back and forward to each other, and they're just getting more and more epic. And we want to share them with you because life needs a soundtrack. And I love getting a new song. Like, I think it feels like just sparks so much newness. So I'm excited about that each week.
Good.
But you have to stay to the bitter end
Yeah, to get the songs.
the reward of our 2 weekly obsession songs. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that kind of feels good. So we are 2 rad chicks, and we are going to be going on these huge, small, medium, large life adventures and reporting back to you on what it was, how it felt, what happened, like what really happened. And even we don't know.
No, I've got no idea.
And maybe somewhere down the track, you might request us to go on.
Yeah.
But we have some pretty cool ones. Actually on my Instagram, and if you don't know Grace's Instagram, at grace.your.self.
Yeah. You know that.
And I'm at DeanneLoveXO. I reached out and I asked people for kind of dares. There were some good ones. So we'll definitely do some of those. Yeah, for sure. All right. So moving in to our next segment, just imagine there's really cool music right here. There may or may not be at some point in this podcast as we evolve and grow together, all of us. Do you feel like singing?
Yeah. What was that intro song?
What was our
Do
intro
what
song?
you want to do, feel what you want to feel, yeah.
So beautiful. I am not going to
change up
sing.
those lyrics.
I will just talk. I could get up and dance, but it's hot in here, so I have to take off all my clothes. All right. We are going to ask each other some questions that we prepared earlier that will give you a little bit of insight into who this rad chick is and then who I am.
And this rad
Does that sound cool? Because I do another podcast and it is over on deannelove.com, and it's a bit sacred. It's a bit special. And that is only one part of me. And this rad chick has like just the million parts of her. So
1 million.
1 million. Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first? Mm-hmm. Do you want to ask me first?
Can I wee?
She's going to wee.
I'm sorry. I drank so much water. As you
I
can
should
see,
know
my
by
glass
now. I should know.
empty.
Yes. Get out of here.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, we're back from our pee break, and
It was amazing.
oh, I bet.
Actually, when I sat on your toilet seat, it felt like that I was on a pirate ship from Pirates of the Caribbean, because it was kind of creaky. It was like...
That is not what I thought you were going to say, but it seems appropriate. That's good. Okay, next time I go to the toilet, I'm going to think of Johnny Depp. Wait, is that appropriate? I don't know. But
Okay, questions.
let's talk about the question. Do you want to ask me first?
Yes, I do want to ask you first.
Okay, I'm totes excited about what you have to ask me, and I am ready, to be honest.
All right. So I see that you have tattoos. You have so many. There's arms and wrist. So my question is, how many tattoos do you have, and what do they mean to you?
Okay. Are you ready? And if I blah blah too much, you can butt in and ask me about any of them. Yes. So lots of people like at service stations, or like if you're listening and then you're in the US, that's a gas station. Service stations or 7-Eleven or just random kids in the street will be like, are they real? Because they look like just
They're
stamps.
so cool. Yeah, they do.
However, okay, so first question answered is how many tattoos do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, shit. 11 would have been better. I just got that one in Brazil. So, okay, real quick. So the first tattoo that I have is on my back, and I think I was, my mum had to come with me, so I must have been young. And I had a Reiki session. And in that Reiki session, I had a vision of like a heart with wings moving. Like it felt like freedom and expansion of like my heart chakra. Yes, I've always been a hippie.
Amazing.
Inside the rad chick. And I went to work the next day at the job that I was doing at the time.
Which was?
It was a shop called Inner Harmony.
Cool.
How crazy that my podcast now, like 20 years on, is called Inner Wisdom.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
Amazing.
And it was a crystal shop and like a new age store at the time. That's would have been what it was called. And I was, just doing what I did, omming, whatever you do, talking to people about crystals and essential oils. And I opened up a box of books. And as I opened it, the book on the top was called Communicating with Your Angels or something. And it was the freaking heart with wings that I'd seen in the Reiki session. And I was like, what up, angels?
That's
Like,
crazy.
you come to hang. And so I was like, wow, I never thought tattoos didn't really feel like me. But then I saw it. It was in my vision.
Yeah.
It was on the book. So I was like, okay. So I got that stamped on me. And then in Japan, I got the Seed of Life, which is the beginning of all creation, but it also looks like hula hoops. And many people have asked me, have I been in the Olympics?
Yeah.
No.
I think I might have even asked you
Totes
that.
never.
It's so cool.
No, not an athlete. Always a hula hooper, and it's the Seed of Life. So it is sacred geometry. Look it up. I got it done in a really smoky den in Tokyo with really loud rock music, and it was kind of gross. And then I got this like dots of love that I thought back then one day when I really love myself, when I have like full self-love, I'm going to fill that in because it's like the dots, mums and dads do for little kids when they want to like teach them how to write. You can hardly see it. But the craziest thing about this one is that I met up with my old best friend and we hadn't seen each other for years and years, and she had like red dots, and there's no way, that she would have ever known that. Anyway, and then over the years, I have got hearts in different locations, and when people ask me like, what are they? Like this one was in Brazil a couple of weeks ago. This one was in India at the end of last year. This one was in Coolangatta, where we live or where we work and live.
Amazing.
Because I felt there was like a shift in my life.
Yellow
Melbourne,
is a good colour for Coolangatta. It's a good representation of
the sands.
Coolangatta.
Yeah. Coolangatta is where we live, and it's very
coasty.
We're on the coast, bro. It's surfy. It's beautiful. It's like paradise. And these ones were Melbourne. And then these ones were the US at different times when I quit my job and became a full-time hula hooper. And then these two little anchors with hearts on the inside of my wrist. Masa and I used to go to Bali for a year at a time. No. A month or two at a time because we were living in a kind of chilly area of Australia. And so we would go and hang out in Bali, and Masa would make friends with just like cool dudes on the side of the street. And one day he went out walking in Ubud and he was like, I met these really cool guys at the tattoo shop. You should come hang. And then I did. And I was like, hey, can you tattoo me? And
that's so cool.
They did.
Can I see them? Yeah, they're cool.
They're just little anchors.
And they're different colours?
With hearts. Yeah, one's blue, one's purple. Yeah. one got super festy. So that is my,
That's so
there's
cool.
deeper stories, but it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit like, you know, when someone goes to this really, wherever, cool vacation and then they come back and they tell you, like they show you their slideshow of travel and you're like, yeah, it's cool, but, or it's like, I know you and I share dreams a lot, but sometimes your dream is so amazing and real to you, but the other person's like, great,
Yeah.
cool.
It kind of leaves you feel very empty after sharing. That can feel like that sometimes.
I'm feeling empty. Well, I'm
Yeah.
feeling like it's probably just a bit bloody
No,
boring for you, to be honest. But
It's so cool. No, I love them and they're super cool. And I have no tattoos, so it's
pure,
cool.
pure,
Clean
totally
skin, bro.
pure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your tattoos with us. Another question I have for you is your name, Deanne Love.
Yes.
Tell us about
Okay.
that.
Yes, my name is Deanne Love, but I was not born Deanne Love. I was born Deanne. In fact, my mom didn't know what to call me. And the night before she had me, like she was like, oh, I think you're going to be Michelle or Louise or something really pretty. And the night before she had me, she had a dream and maybe it was the same angels. I don't know. They came to her and they said that my name was Deanne.
That's so cool. I like that.
I mean, who were they? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're the same dudes that are protecting me all the time somewhere.
Mm.
Girls, women, angels, omnipresent beings.
Yeah, I feel like you're very in touch with your like spirituality. Do you feel like your mum is as well?
I feel like it was just like a kind of undercurrent. Like she's not some like crystal jangling, you know, sage swirling wild woman. She's not like that at all. But there was stuff always in our house that was, you know, like maybe affirmation cards, or that's how I learned about yoga so young. My mum had a book with all, just the sun salutations of some like cool Indian dude, and I would do it as a little kid. Like, so there was stuff around. I think like we always had lots of books and things like that. So yeah, my spirituality was definitely came from my mom and my nana.
That's so cool. Okay. I had another question for you. Did I?
It's okay.
Sorry,
You can look at your phone
I'm gonna
because
look at
I
my
was
phone.
actually just thinking, I was like, oh gosh, what are Grace's questions? I'm going to have
Yeah.
to look at my phone.
Yeah.
Because I
Oh, that's right. Do you journal? That's another
do
one.
I
Do you
journal? Do I ever? Oh my gosh. So I often think, and you being super creative as well, like our brain gets so filled with stuff, whether that's like emotion or ideas or things that I want to write about. And over the years, if I somehow collected all of my journals from everywhere, they would just like fill this whole entire studio.
Do you keep them? Do
Well,
you keep your journals?
Some of them are like, I don't even know where they've gone.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, someone's
If anyone
reading.
finds Deanne Love's journal, let us know.
Yeah, phone 1-800 what the.
2 rad chicks.
That's our new phone number. If anyone wants
1-800
to
2 rad
sponsor
chicks.
us, that would be great. I journal a lot, and then I will look back and be like, who the hell wrote that? Because it's a lot. Like it'll just be this
Yeah.
conscious download. I
Yeah.
do journal a lot on Simple Note, which is on my, what's this called? The iPhone. But sometimes I get distracted.
Yeah, okay.
And then suddenly
Or
3
maybe you
hours
just
later, I'm
feel-
still on Insta.
Yeah, or maybe you just can, like, I feel like sometimes you might get distracted, but maybe you've already done enough. You know?
Yeah, it's really cool because I can go back to it. But yeah, I journal so much. I write shit down all of the time.
Yeah, even your Instagram, I don't know if you're following Deanne's Instagram page, I feel like you give a really good
Oh yeah,
dialect.
I got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Some of my friends think my captions are too long, and I'm just like, whatevs, just give it a like.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I have a lot to say. And if you have a really overactive creative brain, keeping it inside is detrimental.
Dangerous.
Get it out. Get it out, or you're going to explode.
It does feel good to get things out.
I'm sure you feel that too.
Yeah, totally. I probably don't sit down with it. Oh, I do in some ways. Like if I do some like stand-up comedy and stuff. So I'm writing ideas down for comedy or video ideas or things like that. And yeah, I guess if I'm feeling a certain way, it is good to write things out. I feel like I process my emotions through music sometimes as well. So like I'm not really sometimes I might sit down and write a bit of a song, and that kind of, I feel like that's kind of like my journaling on an emotional level.
Because you write some of the music, right?
I feel like I solve a lot of my emotional stuff through doing that, because I feel like it gives you more of a like you can feel into it, and you can. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm playing, but I'm like, yes, this sounds exactly how I feel right now, and so it's like really good to get it out, and then once I feel so much better afterwards.
Do you ever have a bit of a cry, like mid-song? Does it bring up a lot of...
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Actually, when I have a dog, and I felt like life was really busy, and I felt like I might have had to rehome her. So
whoa.
I was like, and it was kind of like I'd done a comedy gig that night, and I came home and I was feeling really terrible, and I just sat down at the piano and I was crying so much. And then I kind of wrote these like lyrics, but then they were kind of funny as well. But yeah, it did make me feel better in some way. But yeah, that it does happen.
But we've talked about this a lot, how we are both, well, we think we're pretty funny. Actually, Grace is like legit funny and hilarious. And sometimes when we hang out, we exhaust each other, like to the point of maybe, tomorrow we're going to have a calm down and a crash, because we had so much like happiness in us, laughing at and with and for and through each other.
It's true.
But at times we can use humor to kind of deflect stuff. So we have to be a bit conscious of like, and Aussies can have a kind of sarcastic, funny, she'll be right edge as well. So yeah. But using the lyrics and the writing and the humor and the song to move through your emotions, I dance and I move. And sometimes I feel like if I don't write or I don't move my body or lip sync for my life, then it gets really stuck. It's really hard.
Yeah.
A bit of a cry.
Yeah.
I really love those questions. Do you feel good?
I feel great. Do you feel good?
I feel good. Do you need to go to the toilet?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
We can push on through. I have questions for you. Can I ask them?
Yes, please.
So there's a few things, and you'll get to know Grace a whole lot better. But basically, she has many, many talents. And so I tried to ask questions that I think will get you will get to know her a little bit better, and they will hint at some of her many talents. So the first, we already said this. We met each other through the hair cutting.
Yeah.
And Grace works in this really cool salon. Go on.
No,
give it a plug. Give it a plug. So
Maverick,
the sponsors.
Maverick Hair and Art Space. And it's a really cool salon.
Super cool.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Super, super amazing. So my first thought when I was thinking, and I've thought this sometimes, like when you're touching me appropriately in the hair salon, you must massage a lot of heads.
Yeah.
And so it's quite an intimate profession, if I'm to be honest. Have you ever fell in love with anyone touching their head?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes you can kind of pick up because you consult first before you touch the head. It's kind of like, you know,
just go straight in for the touch.
You just kind of get consent first, and so you can pick up on how people are feeling and things like that. And sometimes I am conscious of that when I am giving someone a head massage. Like, I don't know, I pretend that I have superpowers and I just can and like if I feel like they're feeling any hurt or sadness,
Oh,
I feel like I just send them heaps of love and light
it's real.
when I give a massage. But yeah, you do get up in people's grill, and I feel like I can fall in love pretty quickly. Oh, I like to love. I love to love, so I make sure that I do it with love in a non-sexual way.
Oh, yeah.
Th-
I mean, you'll never hear me referring to anything in a sexual way. That's that Aussie sarcasm always.
Always.
Okay. So that was no, you have. You've fallen in love. You've
I have
fallen in love with someone's head
Are
massage.
you talking about the guy that
Yeah, you can tell the story.
I told Deanne this story? Was it last night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One time I was giving a guy a beard trim, and you have to get so up in their grill, like you have to get really close. And I legit fell in love with this guy.
Do you think it was because of his pheromones? Was it like how he smelled?
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely a part of that. And we just had really good conversation and just like just quality goodness, you know, like.
Okay, so then what
Yeah.
happened? So you fell in love when you were shaving his beard,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Ooh, he smells good. He looks
Yeah.
good. He talks good." So did you follow him down the street?
No, well, he told me that he had a girlfriend and he was telling me
Okay.
all about her. So
Okay,
it didn't.
no go zone.
I was like, oh well, okay, moving on. But then I ran into him at the beach like a few days later, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he wasn't with his girlfriend.
meant to be.
No, it was meant to be.
And then
He's Canadian. Is Canadian. I'm sure he's still alive.
He didn't change nationalities. And did you feel the same kind of love the next time round? Or was it totes
well, no,
orcs?
because it was kind of like on the beach and it was kind of like didn't stop and spend too much time together.
Okay.
It was kind of like, hi. And he was there taking photos of some surfers. And
Oh, wow. Making him even cooler.
yeah, making him
Great.
even hotter.
Oh,
Anyway, he's out there somewhere.
That's right. If you're listening or watching this, Grace loves you.
I love
Canadian
you.
man.
I love you.
She's in love with you. And you can come back anytime and
Get a beard trim. We could
Oh,
make out.
wait. Have you been repulsed? How many times have you been on the
Oh.
opposite end of the spectrum? Because I
Yeah.
like to explore all the extremes.
Repulsed.
Grossed out.
You know what? I don't remember being. I mean, I have actually. Now that I think about
Was it me?
It was you, sicko. No, definitely not. I have been repulsed. One time actually, there was a woman that came in for a haircut, and I think she kind of came in off the street. And this is like not well, I don't want to
No
be
disrespect.
Yeah.
No. It's just
But,
like you have to
it
get really
was-
intimate with people.
Yeah, and she was like quite aggressive, and I was actually scared. I thought she was going to punch me,
Oh,
and
no.
I hadn't even touched her hair or anything yet, and I just kind of sat down with her to have a chat about her hair, and she was really like unkept and a bit
had
smelly,
some aggressive
bit
issues.
of odors,
And you are not aggressive at all, so that would be a
No,
mismatch.
But she threw her hands up like above her head, and I kind of felt like they were gonna come back down on
Oh,
me.
no.
Like yeah.
It's hard to know what to do in those situations.
Yeah.
And you're the kind of person that wants to give support and love, but
Yeah.
you're like, okay, right.
Anyway, she didn't get her hair done.
Oh,
She didn't get her hair done.
she decided
No,
not to.
well, I think she realized she couldn't afford to get it done,
yeah.
which is sad too. But I have done volunteer work actually with
Yeah.
some a company called Helping Hands in
Ah,
Brisbane. Do you know
cool.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went and did some haircuts for some women that were in
Cool.
bad situations. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, it's kind of nice doing that stuff because you realize how grateful you are, you know, to have grown up or live a safe and healthy
yeah.
life.
Yeah. And I guess it brings some balance into your life too, because you work in this really high end, cool, edgy. So it's nice to be part of the fuller community.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, step out of our bubble as much as we possibly can, which is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Canadian guy come back. I'll just
Canadian guy
just
come back.
say that one more time. I forgot some of the questions, but I would like to know why you called your dog Olive.
That's a good question. It took me a while actually to come up with a good name. Like I was thinking there was a few going around. There was like Gloria was an option.
Oh,
Because she is a bit of a
she's
Gloria.
a bit of a Gloria.
She looks like a pygmy hippo, so Gloria would have suited her. But Olive came. I had my whole family on board with this. Everyone.
You need to.
We had a name competition going.
Oh, cool.
And my mum actually came up with the name Olive,
Aww.
and which is real cute, and it just like fit her really well, I think. And she kind of does look a bit like a Kalamata Olive.
Yes. As you were saying that, I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
She looks like an olive.
Yeah.
Therefore, she
Olive.
is. Can you describe like what kind of
She
puppy
is an
dog?
English Staffy, and she's brindle, and she kind of looks like her coloring. I would describe her as like a Mars bar. Like if you bit into a Mars bar, she's kind of got these caramel tones and chocolate tones, and then she's got these really cute possum eyes. She's really cute.
Now I'm
And she's a
hungry.
lover as well. She's a real lover.
She's the sweetest child ever.
Yeah.
We should
She's
bring
cute.
her in. We'll bring her in.
Yeah.
She likes to lick.
She loves licking, just like her mum.
We'll talk about that later in what really happens when you. How could I forget? So Grace is an incredible stand-up comic. However, it's fairly new. Like
It's kinda new.
For me, it feels like since I've known you. How did you grow the ovaries? Like, geez, that is
So-
probably one of the it's a
Yeah.
lot to stand up in front of people and be funny and timing, all
it.
that thing.
Yeah.
How did it all start and where'd you get the courage?
Okay, so I've always kind of made silly Instagram videos and had fun being silly. And then my housemates and really good friends at the time bought me this day workshop, like comedy school.
Oh,
Yeah, and they're like, you're always making videos.
cool.
Merry Christmas, go do this fun thing. So I did, and I enjoyed it so much. And everyone at the class, like I went in knowing nothing. I don't even think I bought a pen or a piece of paper. Like
Always
I just
prepared.
rocked up, and then I really enjoyed it. And everyone there was working on material for a gig, and I was like, can I go in that thing that everyone's doing? And I did, and I did my first gig, and it was so scary. The first time, I think it still kind of is scary, but I think
What kind? You felt the scariness in your body? Like, do you remember some of the sensations?
Yes, because my best friend came to my first show, and we went and had dinner. I wasn't really that hungry, really. When you're so nervous.
Hello, anxiety.
Yeah. I think I had a red wine or two, to
Calm the
loosen myself
nerves.
up, and then it was in Byron Bay, and I think it was a Sunday or Monday, and my best friend and I, we walked over to the car to drive back over to the gig, and there was this drum circle happening at the beach.
Byron Bay. If you don't
Yeah.
know Byron Bay, it's like the epicenter of cool and spiritual and
Yeah.
movement in Australia.
And
yeah.
music. And it's just
Yeah.
the music everywhere. And so we were like, let's go and dance. So, and that helped me so much.
Yes.
Like we just went down into this drum circle. There was a couple of people dancing and we just threw down really hard
Cool.
for like a few minutes. I
Grace
don't
is also
think
an
it was
amazing
that.
dancer.
It wasn't that long, but it just kind of helped me loosen up and yeah.
Yeah, move those feelings through. Otherwise
Yeah.
they're stuck. So you think, well, the moral of the story is just dance.
Just dance
every day.
1 minute.
Particularly when you feel
Yeah.
like it could be the
Anxiety.
scariest thing in your life. And then so like blood pumping,
Blood
body
pumping.
ready, mind open and free, and bam, on stage.
On stage, yeah. And it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And then the lady I did the workshop with, she runs like a 6-week comedy writing
yeah.
course, and I signed up to that a little while later and did that. And yeah, at the end of the 6 weeks, you do a performance, and yeah, and then from there, I was like, I want to do more of this. So I just found these like people. I don't know. They just showed up.
But I'm hearing the word just. Like I just do a bit of stand. I think like I can feel for myself. There's no just, like that would feel really big for me. Whereas like, I guess everyone's different. I could get up on stage and probably, I'd be really terrified, but I could maybe do a movement performance or something like that. I don't know how good it would be these days, but
It would be so good.
you never know. There's something in there though that gives you the courage to stand up. And this is a whole point of this podcast, is like to inspire ourselves or to be more courageous and then to inspire others. You just do it.
I guess I have always done it to an extent, you know, like growing up, I've always loved just being silly. It's like I feel like it's in me. And then I feel like you don't be funny. You just are funny.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the way you speak or move, or, you know, I feel like there's just, when you meet a funny person, it's not even what they're saying sometimes. It's just the way that they're holding themselves, or like,
but it's funny and quirky. Like, I guess there's so many different things, but I'm thinking, I know that you're just naturally funny. Like some people just have natural painting skills or dance, and then they kind of accumulate more, or they go to funny school and then they get better and better. But was there a certain fit, like after that first, where you went to the drum circle, you threw down, you're feeling good, you stood up, you did the routine, is that what you call it?
Yeah, you can.
You could have really bombed, I don't know,
Yeah.
and been like, I am never doing that again. But something in that moment gave you the self-belief to be like, I'm going to do that again.
That's true. It did feel really good.
So it
afterwards.
felt good.
It felt so good. Afterwards, I was like driving home and I was just like, I don't even care what happens to me. I feel so good right now. Like,
because it was like this post-adrenaline?
Yeah,
like
I think so.
Feel-good chemicals?
Yeah. And like it probably like wasn't the greatest. I don't know. It's out there. Like, yeah, I don't know how good it was as from a like comics perspective, but I feel like it felt good getting up and doing it or trying it, and then pleasantly surprising myself.
Yeah. So there was this sense of like, whoa, this is a stretch, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then there's a sense of accomplishment. Like I did that thing, that big thing. And it, you know, for what your big thing and my big thing might be totally different, but it's like something that was outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, and have you felt since doing more and more shows, which I just actively seek, like it's such an inspiration, because I'd be like, yep, tick, did that, one show, whatever. See you later, people. Never going to do that again. I did, yeah. And then for the rest of my life at parties, I'll be like, yeah, this one time, like I used to be a stand-up comic. But no, Grace goes out and continuously seeks, like sometimes 2-3 times a week now, right?
Yeah,
Is it affecting the rest of your life?
Yeah, I feel like
In a
the
good way?
last
Oh,
couple of times, the last couple of weeks, I've had a bit of a twitchy eye. I feel like I don't know
Wait,
if that's
exhaustion,
a bit tired.
burnout.
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
no, but it is a bit of a juggle. Juggling full time work with comedy stuff, but the comedy stuff makes me feel like I'm living. Because it is something you throw yourself into, and it's like, is this really happening? It's kind of like watching, when you see maybe a glass fall off or you knock a glass and you're watching it and you know it's going to happen, but you can't really do anything about it. That's how I feel when a gig's coming up. I'm like, it's happening, but it might work out. It might not. It's scary.
So you put yourself in a position that's a stretch for you, that's outside of your comfort zone, even though you're not quite ready. Because are we ever ready?
Exactly.
Like if we're waiting to be ready, then it's never going to happen. So you put yourself in these positions and then you watch the glass fall.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, it's happening. Have you ever felt like, I can't do this gig? Like I just can't do it tonight? Not because you're sick, like throwing up or whatever, but just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely had an experience where I was on my way to a gig and I was crying down the highway.
Aww.
I was just like really upset, and it was I was feeling really emotional, and I was like, how am I going to be funny? Like how am I? And I just had this. I thought about turning around and just not showing up, like,
Just
and then
bailing
I was like, you know what? I'm like, I could use this. And so I decided, and I was like, this could go terribly wrong, but I'm going to try it anyway. But I basically used it as a therapy session. And so what I had prepared, I just I just kind of didn't go in with what I had prepared for the night. And I just shared how I was feeling. And I just had this one tagline that was, that's fucked up. And so I shared all of the fucked up things that were happening in my life at that moment. And it actually got a really good response. And I think because it was real,
yes.
And they loved it. They towards the end of my gig, they were like, that's fucked up. They got in on it.
Everyone's like, yeah, resonate.
Yeah. And so,
Shit
and
is
then
fucked up.
Afterwards I felt so good. And I also felt like, I'm so sorry. I just basically have thrown all my shit onto you guys.
Oh.
But it was still worked, and it, yeah.
Well, people want to relate,
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you post your hilarious Insta videos or whatever. It's like there's part of me that, like, we can kind of relate to the bogan or the guy who's like doing the tiling jobs, or what, we can relate to your characters, or we kind of know a dude like that or have met him one time, so we relate. But then, yeah, like, well, I guess it's a superpower of yours as well to be open and vulnerable, and people relate to. We all go through. We're all having those moments where we're driving down the highway crying and being like, I'm going to turn around, I need to turn around, I can't. I'm just like, this is not working. What was I thinking? I can't do this. But for you then go ahead, like you turn it into this gold where you take what is the challenge and the limitation, where, some of us might be like, I'm like, it's over. And you turn that into your strength, or you turn that into comedy, and maybe that's,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I feel like in that moment I was like, if I turn around and I get home, I'm going to feel bad about it. Because so I was like, if I go, I went for myself still. It was kind of like, if I go, I'm going to feel good about being there, and I'm just going to try something new, and maybe it will work.
Yeah. And I think there's always that external, like, I'd feel bad about, letting people down or not turning up. Like, what would they think of me? But also, like, I let myself down.
Yeah.
I don't have that sense of achievement.
Yeah.
I didn't follow through with
Yeah, and
what I
and
committed
like I
to.
said, I felt so good after doing it, and I was like, I wouldn't
Right.
have felt that if I went home that night. You know, if I
Yeah.
turned around and didn't go, I wouldn't have felt as good as what I did.
Of course. And
So,
that's
yeah.
having a really amazing sense of self or self-awareness and emotional awareness. Like, okay, I've done, maybe felt like this before. I know how this rolls. We've got
Yeah.
two paths we could go down.
Yeah, totally.
Going home to bed and crying and looking at Instagram is also a valuable option.
Always.
No, don't. Go, stand up on that stage, try it. What really happens?
What really happens?
How are you feeling?
Good.
Okay.
These
I've got
swivel
like a million
chairs are
questions,
good.
but I'm going to just see if I can. Okay, how many instruments do you have?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me just quickly. I have 2 guitars.
Yep.
At the moment, I have my grandma's piano.
Yes.
Which
Wait,
is
is it a
cool.
piano or is it
Oh, it's a
something?
pianola. So you can put rolls of music inside of it and pump the pedals, and it plays music and can make you look like a really good piano player.
Even if you have never played the piano in your life.
Yeah.
It's pretty spectacular and it gives you a buzz.
A buzz. And it's kind of like olden day karaoke, really.
Yeah, it's
Like,
super cool. Super cool.
And I have a ukulele, a kazoo.
A kazoo.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Kazoo Kid on
No.
Instagram? Oh my gosh. I'm going to link you up so
Yeah.
hard. Expect like 100 Kazoo Kid memes
Okay.
in your inbox.
Amazing.
Very soon.
I'm looking forward to that.
I send Grace 3,000 messages a day.
I would send just as many back. Maybe.
There's
not.
lots of cool stuff. There's so
so
many
much.
funny memes and things to
Yeah.
send and hilariousness. Okay, if you had a month off everything, what would you do?
Ooh.
Like everything. So you're not going to do
Everything.
any comedy. Like you can
that would
do
kill
whatever
me.
you want. I know, but you're going into like this creative hibernation and it's only
Okay.
a month and you're going to be fine. And when you come out, like what would you have done in that month?
I think
It doesn't have to be like, you know.
I feel like I would probably go to Tasmania. I'd probably go to Tassie, somewhere coastal where I could have a fire and eat heaps of amazing food and invite my friends, the ones I want to see. You're not invited. I'm joking.
She's going to turn off her
She's
phone
here.
so I can't send 3,000 messages.
No.
Change her phone number.
Change my phone number. No. I feel like I'd get really creative. Like I would just love to I'd probably take my instruments with me and I would I wouldn't say try. I would write a book called The Year My Parents Broke Up.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. And I feel like I would just do comedy. Like I would be writing comedy ideas or writing I want to write a web series as well. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Just have
Yeah.
get some character, do some character development and
This podcast is like a vision board right now.
Yeah, I know.
So
It
she's
does feel
laying
like
it
that.
down, like
Laying
putting
it
up
down.
all
This
of the
is like-
images and this. So like, who knows? I mean, you move pretty fast, so it could be like next week and it's all
Yeah.
done. Or we'll still be here in a year and, you know,
We'll
telling you
be
what
talking
really
about it.
happens when you go to Tassie and you write all of your stuff. Okay, so you're not wearing that's an amazing shirt, but often I will rock up to meet you and you have some kind of wild ass looking shirt on. Where do you get them all from?
I will find them in weird places. One time I worked on this, did some hair for a sustainable fashion show in Brizzy, and I found my
cool.
favorite shirt there, which you've probably seen. It's got watermelons on it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So I bought that from there.
It's like a shirt. Like
a
Grace has like
button up.
a button-up shirt with cool patterns.
Yeah. And then one shirt was left at my parents' house from one of my brother's friends, I think, and no one claimed
Cool.
it. So I was
Finders
like,
keepers.
mine now. I actually had a client bring me. She
Oh,
went.
that's
She
cool.
went traveling to visit her family in Vietnam, and she bought me back a shirt with strawberries on it and polka dots. You know, yeah.
Yes,
I
the
think I
really
cut your
cute
hair in
one.
it last time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like, "That's cool."
super cute. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, because we were kind of
we're
matchy
kind of
matchy.
matching. Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of like scouting around. You don't have a one-stop shop for all
No,
things awesome.
it's just kind of
Okay,
like
they're each uniquely
they find me, you know.
sourced. Cool. All right. Is there anything that you're not good at?
Yeah, there is.
I don't think so.
I can't
She
remember them
can't
though
think of
because
anything that she's not good at.
I'm
'Cause
so
she's
good at
everything.
everything.
And my final question is, will you marry me?
Yes.
Great. Well, that was
Yeah.
easy. So let's move on to the next segment. And unless you need to pee.
No, I'm good.
Cool. All right. So, this is a bit of a weird one. So each week we are going to have a confession. Like we're going to say something
yeah.
that's either a little bit weird about
Yeah.
us or something that's been going on, but it could come from the adventure that we're going on or the dare or the activity that we're going on. But because we haven't been on any yet, we can just kind of come up with one. And I have a million. Like I think this is not really weird. This is like, it's just a confession. I think like I kind of love my moustache.
I can't even see your moustache.
Well, that means I'm going to have to grow it even longer. All right, maybe that's not a confession.
Or are you talking about your smoothie moustache?
Oh, have you seen our smoothie moustaches? I'll have to like send you some Insta photos. Oh, yeah. What's something, I was thinking this week, like, yesterday I was cleaning my house. This is just like normal, boring stuff for this week. I don't really have a kooky confession.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a little bit more courageous as time goes on. I'll tell you some real deal confessions.
Yes.
Because I'm such a fantasizer, but I can bring the fantasy into not just, the bedroom. So I don't love cleaning my house, but it's not like, it's not super gross and messy, but I will create these fantasies that like people are coming over so that I go and like have this full fantasy of like we're having this dinner party and everything, even though it's totally not happening. Like I'm probably just going to watch Netflix at night. But, and so that will make me like fully scrub the bathroom floor and like wipe out all my kitchen cupboard, like go the whole extra clean hard. Yeah, so I have to fantasize to clean my house. Does that feel like a confession? They may get saucier.
Kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
I'm
going to get funnier as time goes
Nah,
on.
it is funny. Can you imagine?
My
Who would you
fantasies?
have at
Can
your-
you imagine? No, you can't.
I can't.
Maybe
I
one
kinda
day I'll
wish I
tell you about
could.
them. Do you have a confession?
Confession. What can I confess? I'm sorry, I'm not really prepared on this one. The other day I was driving home and there was an RBT, like a random breath testing with the popo.
Yep.
I got pulled over and my car is probably not roadworthy. And I thought about turning around, but I was like, that will probably make them chase me. This is all in my mind, by the way. Maybe they probably didn't even see me if I turned around. But anyway, I was like, no, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna blow in this breath test. I hadn't been drinking or anything. I was just worried that my car was just like they were gonna be like,
say, by the way.
yeah, here's a fine for this, and this. Anyway, I went. I got pulled over. They were like, have you been drinking? I said no. They got me to blow in the bag and I had to give them my license. And then they were like, okay, see you later, bye. And I was like, as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm going to have to pay thousands of dollars in fines.
So you've got the angels on your side too.
Yeah. I really do.
Yeah. Grace has a surf wagon, a silver surf wagon that she parks diagonally in the middle of the street of Coolangatta.
It's true.
Semi-safely. Sometimes she winds the windows up Sometimes she
Yeah.
doesn't. Oftentimes I'll walk past it and think I should probably leave letters on the front of her
Yes,
windscreen
can you?
and she won't know who it's from. But now
No,
she'll know who
I know.
it's from.
I did think about that the other day. I was like, Deanne better write me a love letter one time and put it on my car. But then I did think the same. I was like, I would know it's from her because Deanne lives like very close to where I work. So
I have thought about it. Maybe I'll
It
just
is like-
spray paint a love letter on the
Yes.
side. You will never know who it is, who it was. Not me. Yeah,
Amazing.
all right. We'll take a photo if I do spray your car. All right. So this is where we come to the most exciting part of the show where we tell you what really happens. Except we haven't really done anything yet. I mean, we have, but we haven't done anything for specifically the purpose of this podcast. So we would normally report back, right?
yeah, on our experience.
And let you in on all of the juicy details. But this time, we're just going to tell you where we are heading next. And do you want to tell us, Grace, where are we going?
We are heading to the Nimbin Mardi Gras Festival.
Now, if you have no freaking idea what that actually is, because either you don't live in Australia or you don't even know what Nimbin is, Grace, when I say the place, Nimbin is a place. When I say the place Nimbin, what comes to mind for you?
Well, they're definitely marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the capital of marijuana, hence why they host the Mardi Gras Festival.
Mardi Gras. Grass.
Grass.
Or grass if you are a US of
Yeah.
A or Canadian
But
listener.
they also have cheese. They have you seen
Oh.
that Nimbin cheese?
No.
They have
yeah.
cheese.
I mean, the whole surrounds of Nimbin is in this
Yeah.
incredibly beautiful,
In the
lush
mountains.
part of Australia, which is how far from where we live?
I think it's an hour and a bit
Yeah.
drive.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're going to be
an hour
heading
and
into the
50.
hills. We're going to be heading into the lush green hills of Nimbin. There are some very interesting / kooky people who live
Definitely.
there. What else would you say about Nimbin if you were
The first time I went there, it was a bit scary. I was scared.
scary?
It was scary.
What made you
it's probably
scared?
not scary.
Why were you scared?
I was scared because I got out of the car and I was out of the car for less than 30 seconds. And this woman who was really scary looking, kind of like missing teeth, just gaunt and like a bit
Okay.
disjointed, came up to me and was like, "Do you want to buy a brownie?" And basically, you get
Yes.
hit up if you want. You get hit up to buy drugs and in all kinds of forms. And I was just getting out of the car to like,
Yes, that has happened to me and my mother. Actually, a woman, possibly the same lady, said to my mother, "Would you like to buy some cookies?" And my mum was like, "Cookies?" And I was like, "No, mum, no." They're not the no, we won't be buying those cookies. Having said that, the last time we went there with my mom, there's some really cool shops in Nimbin. So yes, I would actually. There are incredible people that live in Nimbin, but there is also a potential drug problem. Let's say. However, on the flip side of that, they do celebrate, and this is the whole idea of
Yeah.
Mardi Gras, is that they celebrate the medicinal benefits of marijuana. What are some other words? Do you know in Japanese
Weed.
marijuana? Weed. Marijuana in Japanese is hapa.
Hapa. I like that.
Hapa. It's pretty
Hapa.
cute. So often if we
That's
just
cute.
smell it, we're like, hapa?
Hapa.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hapa. Nimbin is also a bit rainbow. Like there's
Yeah.
there's some really cool fashion. And that's what I was going to say. The last time we went there,
the
we got some
fashion.
really cool, awesome outfits. So by going to Mardi Gras, it's a 3-day event, but
Yeah.
we're just going to go on the Sunday and see the parade and kind of immerse ourselves in the
Culture.
potentially super weird and over the top and also loving and beautiful and open and free and celebratory. However, I have some friends who are in a dance troupe and they are called the Ganja Fairies. So
That's
I'm
such a
assuming-
cool name. I can't wait to see
assuming
that.
they will be all dressed in green and looking fabulous. So we're just gonna we're just gonna go see it. Now, Grace, are you a pothead?
Not
Are you a
really.
stoner?
Not
Are you a
really.
weed monger?
No.
I
I
don't
mean,
even know
I'd sometimes have dabbled. Like I have
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm feeling it, but I
I want to be. I just want to put it out there. I want to be. However, it's never been my groove. It's
Yeah.
never been my thing. But Australia is expanding its acceptance of medicinal marijuana and CBD oil. And I think this is a really important topic.
Yeah, I know some people that have use it for medicinal purposes. I know a guy who's got Parkinson's and he uses the oils and he says it settles his tremors a lot, and that's really cool. Like,
it has incredible properties, and it's plant medicine. There's some, just like anywhere, I guess there's some stigma and also legality issues around marijuana in Australia. So we're just gonna explore that because we don't really know. We actually live in a different state, so to where the Mardi Gras is. So there's like the whole legal issue, there's the medicinal issue, there's the partiers, there's the scary side of Nimbin.
Yeah, are you scared? Do you have any fears around going?
I think I don't think I'm scared because I have been in a lot of situations that have been drug related. However, one little thing is like, I'm not scared because I feel like, we're in good company and I don't think we're going to be going down any dark alleys and like, but just like anywhere, I think there are there's some escalation of potentially like not super amazing drugs. I'm referring to meth in, but I don't know. I actually don't know. So I'm not going to like put any expectation. I remember a dear friend of mine who has now passed away. When I was younger, he was very much into Mardi Gras and would go all the time, and he was really colorful and beautiful and amazing. So for me, it's kind of like a reconnection to that time.
Yeah.
And who knows? I love the smell of pot. Like I think it smells. It's like the best incense. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it's. I
feel like I'm kind of like, are we going to get passively high?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, I sound like, but I feel like I can really easily, if someone is in the room or if people are smoking weed around me, I kind of feel that, if we're locked in a room together. Yeah. It's kind of my favorite way. I don't know how open it's going to be because we probably should have done a little bit more research, but I even don't know the laws around it. Of course, you can't smoke and drive, and Australia and particularly New South Wales, which is where where Nimbin is, have some really strict driving drug laws and lots of drug buses now. So they'll be on the Nimbin scene. Totally. So that could be cool too, to see how many police are there.
I'm also interested to see like that weekend, they must have to ship in extra munchie supplies. Just the like service,
right? We're gonna get community. Some good cakes and chips, and like lollies.
Maybe we could do like
goodies.
Party bags up, like munchie bags, and just hand them out to everyone.
That's like a good Samaritan, like a community service. I feel like we could do
Wouldn't that be so nice?
Because people are gonna So
show bags.
It's got show bags for the stoners and the munters. It's going to be great. It's going to be cool because there's just going to be a lot of interesting people. So you'll also we'll take some video and we'll take some footage and just see what happens. And us too, like, I don't know.
I'm open to anything.
Scared little
Nimbin.
Yeah.
Have your way with me.
That's the thing. No expectations. We'll see. And as the weeks go on with this podcast, we will. We're starting. I think we're starting out pretty chill.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going chill with the weed.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
Mardi Gras. Yeah. So it'll be sweet and beautiful. So definitely come and see what happens. Who knows actually what's going to happen. But as the weeks go on. But I don't want to give away any of the things that we're considering.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah.
No, it's going to be good.
We'll see. All right. So that's our next adventure, and we will report back next week and let you know what happens at the Nimbin Mardi Gras. Okay, now it's my favorite part of the show where we get to share with you our 2 weekly obsessions. I am obsessed with making playlists. Grace is an incredible musician, and she also sends me amazing songs all of the time that I've never heard of. That's the cool thing when you like meet someone that is like, there's like new, fresh blood. So that's why we want to share them with you. Do you know yours?
Yeah, I wrote them here earlier.
All right. Get your Spotify out right now.
So one that I've been loving this week is by an artist called Charlie Berg. And the song is called You Used To.
Why do you love it?
Actually, I'm just thinking, I wonder, is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Berg.
Okay.
Like as in burger.
Yeah.
B-U-R-G.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally.
Just checking.
I think
'cause
so. How else would you?
Berg. Berg.
No, Berg.
Berg.
Charlie Berg.
Charlie Berg.
Sorry, Charlie Berg, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are. We don't know how to say your name.
Charlie Berg, You Used To.
You used to.
Yeah.
You used to what?
Come over and lay on my bed and listen to music, share music, I think. It's actually, that's kind of the general.
It's got this really sassy, is it jazzy?
Yeah, it's kind of sexy.
It's very, is that the one that you were trying to, on your Insta stories, seduce me?
Yeah, I did.
With her 1 minute of dancing. It's
1
very
minute
cool.
of dancing. And then my other cool one that I rediscovered this week is by Mariah Carey. And it's called We Belong Together. And that's also another sexy one. It's been a bit of a sexy week.
It has.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
So
It's
they're my
always
two.
a sexy week for me. They're good. They're really good. So get those in your Shazam and Spotify. We should probably at some point make a 2 Rad Chicks playlist.
Yeah,
It's
that'd
coming
be
up. It's
nice.
definitely coming up. We'll
Yeah.
share it with you probably 20 minutes after this show. My two. Okay, so I have been sharing on my Insta stories every freaking day 1 minute of movement so that you can just totally accept that you're a miracle in motion and move your booty. So I made a playlist called Booty, and it's also good for cleaning when you're fantasizing about fake people coming over so that you clean your house.
Yeah.
You can see a theme here. And one of the songs, I think it's like the second song on that playlist, is called Say Yeah. And it's by a guy. I don't even know what he looks like. I'm going to have to Google him. His name is Troy Boy, as in Troyboi, like boy. And it's just like super funky.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I don't know, he's rapping. I'm not a rapper. Shout out to Haley
you
Hoopla,
are.
who is a rapper, Hoop Dog. And I think he's like, if you're making money for the fam, say yeah. So he's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's cheering on the hard workers. And my
cool.
second one, okay, I stole this from you. Well, I didn't steal it from
didn't.
you, but when you said, so this is how my brain goes when I hear a song, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mariah. So then I've got to go and Google, Shazam, no, Spotify, all of the other Mariahs and Fantasy. You know when she does that little like, what's that? What is that? A trail? A twirl? Something?
Decrescendo. No, that's I think in loudness and yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, she's so into this guy or girl, I don't know. It is Mariah, so she's probably into hot guys. And it's a really good one because what happened was I started to go down the Mariah rabbit hole, and some of them are really sad. Like that woman,
Really?
she must have really either it's that relating thing, you know, she wrote the songs or whoever wrote the songs for people who were just like freaking heartbroken. So I was like, oh. And then I found Fantasy.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Is that a
sweet
more
fantasy,
kind of
baby. When
not
I
a
close
sad
my
one?
eyes, you come and take me.
Oh.
So something, I don't even know. Anyway, she's like, you know, walking down the street looking fine. She's loving him. So
Thank you, Mariah.
Yes, that one on repeat. Totally loving it. All right. So they are our weekly obsessions and
I'm moving
Grace
the
is-
furniture. I'm getting too comfortable.
that must mean that it is time to totally wrap this first episode. Oh my God, holy shit, we did it. Our first episode of Two Rad Chicks.
Two
you
Rad
found
Chicks.
out so much about us, but there's so much more.
There's so
right?
much more.
There is so much more. And it's really cool to share with you. Thank you, Grace,
Thank you
for being my
You made this happen.
creator. We made this happen in one haircut. You know, so much can
The
happen
power of a haircut.
in such a short time. You just never know. So if there's something that you're holding back on, like a podcast with your hairdresser, then
Do it.
you should totally do it. This is all about being courageous and taking the step, and learn from driving down the highway crying, but still doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's the lesson of the week.
Buckle in, guys.
Oh, we're going to have to bring in some of your characters, I feel, to maybe next week after Nimbin. I mean,
Maybe
who
in the footage,
knows?
the video footage might
Totally.
show some of that.
That would be a good idea. Who knows how we're going to come back from Nimbin, if we're going to come back from Nimbin. It's pretty exciting. All right, we're going to talk to you next week. Bye.
Thank you.